Oh, folks, there's something here. With all of y'all, does anybody hear anything from Crazy Family Tube? I'm worried about them. I really am. Um, I hadn't been able to raise them. I've been trying to get a private chat with them. I can't get no response from them. I know they're having problems with the house that I guess she got a mortgage on it, and she said they're going to have to move because they can't afford to make the repairs on the house or something like that. That's the last thing she talked about to me. And I'm just worried about them. Why don't all of y'all go to their channel, look at their last video, which is about 2 months old, and leave some comments, give them some encouragement, tell them to contact us, make a video, let us know how they're doing. I owe that family a lot. They got me about 300 subscribers at one clip where they made a shout out on me. But I'd sure like to hear from them. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.
Dr. Alton, how do you feel? Yeah,
If y'all been following a lot of my videos, there's one thing about life that I complain about a lot. And that's the fact that the older you get, the more people you lose. I had, when I say brothers and sisters, I'm talking about my whole brothers and sisters, not my half brothers, from my stepfather and all that. I know technically they're my half siblings, but I really don't have any relationship with them. But I was the firstborn. Well, supposedly Mama had another baby before I was born. That would put her at about 14. I don't know that to be a fact. I'm inclined to believe that the father of the baby was R.O. Carpenter, which is my daddy's first cousin, so that would make him my second cousin. But I don't know. Her daddy told my brother George that my mama's mama and my mama walked to the hospital. Mama had a baby there and left it. That's what I've been told. I don't know, don't have no proof. But anyway, that was in about 1940. I don't know. But my mom and daddy, they had 5 children. I was the oldest. I was born in 41. My sister, Carolyn, was born in 1942. My brother George was born in 1944. And my other brother Michael was born about 1947, and Joe was born about 1948, 1949, somewhere right there. I'm not sure about the dates. But out of those 3 boys, which is me, Michael, Joe, and George, I had 3 other brothers, you know, and my favorite brothers out of that bunch was Joe and George. Well, lost Joe in 1987. He died in a fire. And he was a Vietnam vet, a wounded Vietnam, had 2 Purple Hearts.
What you talking about? What you talking about?
And my other favorite brother was George. Well, George died yesterday morning. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. I kind of expected that. He's not been well for a good while now. So, my 2 favorite brothers is gone. I got a lot of memories of Joe. I got a lot of memories of George. I feel bad. I shed a tear. However, this past Christmas, when I was still in rehab, George and his daughter Rachel and her husband and their maid, or whatever you want to call him, I don't know. He cooks for me. It's a he. Name's Junior. And I got to see George then.
I wasn't even locked on to you yet.
And me and George were sitting there talking, and I told him, I said, George, you know, we're getting to the age now when we see each other. When you leave, we may not see each other again. And he acknowledged, yeah, that's right. And sure enough, that was the last time I got to see him. And sure enough, I can't go to his funeral. I don't know if I could even make a trip now. I don't know. But I know back in 1986 when my son died, George came down with his family. And he took care of a lot of odds and ends for me.
But this is so stupid.
George worked for a funeral home for a few years. And he had a lot of knowledge about ins and outs about funerals and stuff that has to be done and everything. And he did a lot for me in '86 about that. Matter of fact, he did a lot for me. That rascal. He worked for Philip Morris. He was a security guard there. And Philip Morris gave their employees cigarettes if they wanted them. George didn't smoke. And he was always bringing me his ration of cigarettes, even when I quit. And he kept bringing them to me, and I got started again. I was smoking Merits, which Philip Morris makes. I don't know if they still do it or not. I guess if they do, it's probably 5 or 6, maybe even $7 a pipe. But after he left Philip Morris, he went to work for a funeral home. And in the state of Virginia, when somebody dies, there's not a county coroner that comes and picks up the bodies and stuff, or when somebody's out on the highway and wrecks. The funeral home is the one that goes out there and picks up the body or the body pieces. I don't know how he stood it. He went to one wreck. There was about a 10-year-old girl that was killed in the accident, and then she was run over by some 18-wheeler across her head. He said that was the one that really messed him up. It was hard for him. I don't know how he stood it, but he did that for 2 or 3 years, I know. He was also, the funeral home, they've always got these directors walking around helping the people and everything, and he did that too. And he also worked for a food bank. He was going around to a lot of the grocery stores. Most of them were food lines, picking up they were meat that was about to go out of date. They would he picked them up, take them to the food bank. But like me and everybody else, we get just too old to do stuff, and it just seemed like, and he also run a cafeteria. I was looking at a piece on something on the internet. I don't know if it was news or what, but in the state of Wisconsin, Wisconsin is known for cheese, and cheese is made from milk. And I was seeing where the dairy farms is producing so much milk that the processing plants and everything is jam-packed full, and they can't accept any. They was dumping it. Big tanker trucks that hauls milk from the farms and stuff. They was dumping that stuff. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of milk. They had to treat it some kind of way before they could dump it in the sewage. Something to do with the harmful or something, but they was dumping like hundreds of thousands of gallons of milk. You would think, who takes that loss? If they pick it up from the farms and they try to deliver it to the processing plant, and the processing plant turns it down. So who's taking the loss there? The farmers? Good grief. And we drank a lot of milk in this household. I would say maybe 4 gallons a week. That's right, 4 gallons of milk. Now, when my daughter picks up stuff at that food bank on Tuesdays or Thursdays, that's the place that I get that oat milk or that silk, which is made from it's a vegetable thing. It's a non-dairy thing. And I love that stuff. I like it better than milk. But right now I'm out of it. The other day we got 6 half-gallon containers. I'm hoping she'll go in the morning and maybe we'll get some more. But I love that stuff. I love it better than milk, especially that oat milk. I like the oat milk better than the silk. I don't know what silk is made from. It's a vegetable. It's made from vegetables. But I sure like it. But if we ain't got that, then I'll drink milk, you know. And I'll probably drink 4 glasses of milk a day. All told, not at one clip. But my Lord, that is throwing that much milk away. What a waste. What a waste. They're saying that the dairies has got so good at producing milk that they produce more than there's a demand for. I don't know. I got a Pepsi here and it's kind of froze. I sure wish they'd get something done with my scooter. I may be getting a new one, I don't know. But I sure like to get one. A new one. But there's something wrong with this, I think they call it the transaxle. Because when you're going along on that scooter and you let off the trigger, it stops automatically. Well, here lately when I was going, I released the trigger and it would start slowing down, but it wouldn't stop for about 2 or 3 feet. So there's something wrong with that. The scooter's wore out, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. I just watched a movie, I guess it was on YouTube, Matilda. It was kind of funny. The little girl, I guess, is a witch. I normally don't like movies like that, but I liked that one. It was cute. Also, I mentioned something the other day about a movie that I watched. It was in the theater about 7 days, and I watched it every day. One day I actually watched it 2 times. I watched it at the end, and then a few minutes later they'd restart it and do it again. But it was named Friendly Persuasion, and it is available on is it on YouTube? It's somewhere on there because I found it. But all it had was trailers on it. It wouldn't show the full movie. You have to pay to see the full movie. But I love that thing. I would like to watch it again just to see if I like it like I did. I guess that was 1957, 1956, 1957, right in there. But Gary Cooper was in it, and Anthony Perkins. I think that was one of the first movies that Anthony Perkins was in. But I loved that movie then. I don't know if I would love it now. I would like to watch it. If I get a couple of extra $2 or $3, I'll watch it just to see. I won't buy it. They offer it for rent or to buy, whatever you want to do. But I sure love that movie, and it was at the Winston Theater. That was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. There was three theaters in Winston-Salem. One of them was the Winston, the other one was the Carolina, and the other one was the Rialto. The Rialto was the cheaper movies, and the Carolina Theater, that's where first time I ever saw Elvis Presley in person there. And that, yeah, I guess you call it a concert, but it's not like it is today. But it was the Carolina Theater, and it was Elvis Presley and those guys that sung with him, Jordan Ayers or somebody, and then June Carter. You might know her now as June Carter Cash. She's dead. She was married to Johnny Cash. And Justin Tubb, who is the son of Ernest Tubb. That's who was on the venue. Justin Tubb, June Carter, and Elvis Presley. I like June Carter. She's a lot younger than everything. I kind of fell in love with her. My hearing aid took a dump a couple of days ago. I don't know what was wrong. I know what was wrong with it now because it's fixed now. My daughter come in here a while ago and took it in there, and she come back. She put it back in the ear, and I put it in my ear, and it was working. I didn't know what she done, but I had a wax build up in something in there, and she had some way to clean it out. And thank goodness it's working. I was about to go crazy because when you can't hear nothing. You are very alone. You just really feel alone. You're isolated. And people come in and start talking to them. You can't hear a thing. They have to get right down up my ear. I can hear it. But that's a very lonely feeling, just to be almost stone deaf. You know, I wish I had my scooter so bad. So bad. I hope some of y'all went and looked at Sleeper Dude, that YouTube channel. It's him, his wife, and his 3 kids. He has 2 daughters and a son. And I can't figure out exactly what he must be. He quit his job. He was making $130,000 a year, and he quit that job a year ago to work, just do nothing but his YouTube channel. And he's doing okay. He's got almost 200,000 subscribers now, but he's doing okay. They got goats, and they got this one goat named Rocky. That goat drives me nuts. I wonder, you know, a goat, when they poop, the poop looks like little raisins, little round balls. And he'll be working on the car, and the goat, and that Rocky, he'll come in there and he'll come up on the seats. And he's always eating paper and stuff. Goats eat about anything, I guess. And he's got horns. I, but there's so much going on there. The goat would drive me nuts. Cause he could start eating something that's important. You know, I wished I could ask him had that goat ever destroyed something that they needed. Um, and that boy, I think the boy's about 11. I think the girl right under him is she's really close in age. She may be 10. And the older girl, she's 14. And they're all very involved with what Daddy does, you know, flipping these cars and stuff. And he got hold of a 31-year-old RV camper. He worked on it, got it running good and everything, and they took about a 5,000-mile trip in that thing. Well, they was on the way back home with it, and it broke down. So I'm not sure. I think he wound up selling it somewhere down the road, and they had to rent a car to get home. He said that trip cost him about $6,000. But they just went to Mount Rushmore and a lot of other places, you know, and that's a trip I wish I could have made with my kids. But we never went west. We always went like up around Maine and Boston and places like that. Never did get to go out west. I always wanted to. But I'm kind of like, I ain't lost nothing out there, and I know what's out there. I've seen it in pictures and stuff, but I still like to do it in person. But my traveling days is over. I wished I could go to my brother's funeral. Bless his heart. I knew he was getting close to dying, you know. We talked about that last time we was here. I said, from now on, every time we part our ways, it may be the last time we see each other. And I think he knew he probably would die before me. Donovan's been worried about me and everything, you know, and he's been patting me on the back and everything. I'm okay. I'm sure gonna miss George. My last favorite brother, my other favorite brother was Joe, and he died in '87. I've only got one full brother left, and that's Michael. And for reasons I won't talk about, not in this video anyway, Michael I do not like. Do I love him? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just know some things about him that I'm not happy about. And that's just another story that I won't get into that. But anyway, my brother George is gone. Bless his heart. His funeral's gonna be at that funeral home that he worked at. and it's paid for and everything. He had some kind of insurance plan or something that would pay for his funeral expenses and everything. And he's got 5 daughters, 5 kids, and they're all girls. Jenna Nicole, Maylin, Joanne, Marcia, and Rachel. Rachel's the youngest. She's a teacher. She's a school teacher. And she was the one that was down here with him this last time. This when right around Christmas. Right around Christmas. Anyway, folks, that's it for this video. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I sure love my brother George. And I love Joe. I don't like or dislike my other kids. Well, I love Carol, the last one that Mama gave up for adoption. But Marcia, Joanne, and Rachel, I just wasn't close to them, you know. I was around them a lot. But in the Carol, I love her. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I will see you in the next one. See you, guys. Ooh, I gotta wash my hands. The dirty fingernail. I ain't took a bath this week, so I got to do that. Got to do that. See ya. Go, play, stop recording.